Good afternoon. This is Dr. Snow. I'm back. Thanks for joining me today. I know that these types of things can be a little stressful as you're awaiting results for your children or anyone you love. So thank you for your patience. And there's a lot of anticipation. My goal is to explain the results in pretty simple terms because this stuff can get kind of complicated. Just help you understand what they mean and reassure you that your child will still be able to live a very normal and healthy life. So don't feel like this is, very life-changing. We understand this could be a little stressful, but your child's going to be okay and everything's going to be fine. We ran a test on 4 children to see how their bodies handle lactose, which is the natural sugar found in milk and other dairy foods. The test measures how much of this sugar is broken down into smaller pieces the body can actually absorb. Patient 1's results looked completely normal. This means their body makes enough of the enzyme lactase and they can digest dairy products without any difficulty. However, for the other 4, there was consistency in their lactose intolerance. In their cases, their bodies aren't making enough of the enzyme lactase to fully break down the lactose in milk. So to make sure our tests were accurate, we ran 2 different controls. A positive control that contained the enzyme. As expected, it showed the sugars being broken down, proving the test can detect digestion. And then a negative control without the lactase, which stayed flat, showing the test isn't just reacting to everything. This helps us and helps you have some credibility that the children's results are reliable. So this is what it means chemically and kind of operationally or functionally. Normally the body makes an enzyme called lactase in the small intestine. And lactase's job is to take lactose, the milk sugar, and cut it into 2 simpler sugars, glucose and galactose. These are small enough to be absorbed into the bloodstream and used for energy. In children with lactose intolerance, their body either makes very little lactase or stops making it as they grow older without enough lactase. The lactose doesn't get broken down. Instead, it travels to the large intestine where bacteria starts to ferment it. That's kind of when the issues set in. The fermentation produces gas. It also puts water into the intestine. That's why kids with lactose intolerance often feel bloated or gassy, a little stinky, or they could have diarrhea after they eat dairy. So these things aren't life or death, but, inconvenient. We've all had diarrhea. We know how it goes. So what does this mean for your child? Lactose intolerance is not dangerous, and it doesn't damage the stomach or the intestines. So that's a real relief there. The issue will just be discomfort. Like we were just talking about, the bloating, you're gassy, you have stomach issues. If your child drinks a glass of milk or eats ice cream, they may feel sick afterwards, but their body isn't being harmed, but they'll feel it. Here are some good alternatives. There are many easy ways to help your child feel comfortable and still enjoy a healthy diet and be okay. Some children can tolerate small amounts of dairy, like cheese or yogurt, which have, a lot of less lactose naturally. Lactose-free milk and other dairy products are widely available in stores. And you can use lactase enzyme tablets or drops, which add the missing enzyme and allow the body to digest dairy more easily. However, if you want to just go non-dairy options, there's plant-based milks, there's almond milk, there's oat milk, soy milk, coconut milk, there's dairy-free yogurts and cheeses. Those things are getting bigger. I'm sure you've seen them. Now, for calcium and vitamin D, which is found usually in milk, kids can get those from vegetables, nuts, seeds, or fortified juices. So though it is a little inconvenient, there are ways around this where a child can have a very healthy life. Just to wrap up, patients 2, 3, and 4 do have lactose intolerance, which means their bodies don't digest lactose well. But this condition is very common, very manageable, and doesn't prevent your child from living a full, healthy life. With the wide variety of lactose-free and dairy-free options available today, your child can still enjoy meals, snacks, and treats without discomfort. Thank you for trusting us. This is, an interesting step, but you're not alone. You're really not alone. It's very common. There's millions of children and adults who have it across the world. My cousin has it. I got a few cousins that have it, and they're fine. So your child is not alone. I actually had, a good friend who is lactose intolerant, and he was eating cheese. And I asked him, hey, aren't you lactose intolerant? And he looks at me and goes, it hurts you more than it hurts me. Meaning he was going to be a little bit gassy, which I thought was pretty funny and hopefully reassuring that, everything's going to be okay.